Hi, my name is Janelle Boyd, and I'm the Physical Exercise Specialist at CFB Shiloh. And today, we're gonna get a grip. Grip strength, that is. So grip strength is used in climbing, lifting, carrying, hitting, swigging, and digging. So some equipment that we'll be using today will be weight plates, dumbbells, kettlebells, towels, as well as some specialized equipment that I'm going to show you. So before we go on, for your safety, please read the full disclaimer located in the video description and on your screen before you start any of the exercises shown in this video. So grip. What is grip? Grip is defined as how firmly and securely you can hold or grasp onto things or an object, and how heavy the things that you can grip are. So grip strength is comprised of the muscles in the forearms and the hands, and the flexors, which are the muscles right on the side of the wrist or the arm here. They close the hand to make a fist, and they create the gripping force, whereas the extensors on this side of the arm here open the palm, and they stabilize the wrist. So flexors close, extensors open. So why is grip strength important? Well, basically increasing the strength of your forearms and your hands in specific positions is beneficial to increase your ability to manipulate your environment, objects, and any opponents. It increases performance on other movements where grip strength can be the limiting factor. To train, use a variety of grips and movements as you use slightly different muscles to make up each grip. Incorporate small changes or modifications into your current movements and add grip-specific movements, which we'll be discussing today. Okay, so let's get started. We're going to do some warm-up exercises followed by going through 3 different types of grip: the crush, the pinch, and the support grip. Then we'll go through some forearm and wrist strengthening exercises, followed by some stretching. Let's do some warm-up exercises. So starting with your hands out in front of you, bringing your hands to a fist and releasing your fingers, open and closing. So let's do this approximately 10 times. And then once you've done that, then we'll do some wrist rotations. One way, and then the other way, or the other direction. Then we're going to put our hands out in front of us, point our palms or fingers down, and then point them up. So down and up. A couple more times. Down and up, down and up. And then we're going to bring our hands together, and we're just going to go up and down. From side to side. And then placing our hands together, we're going to do figure 8s coming down and up, and then we're going to switch directions as well. So both directions. So that gives our arms a little bit of a warm-up. So crush grip. So like squeezing, shaking somebody's hand. Many different ways to train for this. So it's fingers to palm. So if you want, there are devices out there that you can get that will help you with this. So I'm going to show you this one. It's just like a hand squeeze, okay? Squeeze together and release. Squeeze together and release. A grip strength trainer. If you don't want to go out and buy a fancier piece of equipment or anything like that, that's totally fine. You can use a clip or clamp, whatever you want to call it, off of your barbell if you have these type. Together and apart, together and apart, or you can even go and just get a tennis ball. Simply put it in the palm of your hand and squeeze, release, squeeze and release. Make sure you do both hands. All right, so next thing we're going to do is basically a ring or a towel ring, but there are different equipment out there. I'm going to show you this piece of equipment. You can change the tension on it. Basically, you're going to, just as if you were wringing out a towel, You're going to rotate one wrist one way, one the other way, and then you're going to alternate coming back. If you don't want to have to spend money, or if you don't have that piece of equipment, you can simply use a towel. So you could just get your towel completely wet in water, grasp it, and wring it out. Okay, right to the end, and then coming back, and you can use different types of towels, different lengths of towels. There's a short little hand towel here, and then the face cloth. Okay, and then wring it back out. So those are different ways to strengthen your crush grip. Another way to train the crush grip is to increase the diameter or circumference of the object that you're using or gripping onto. So the larger the diameter, right, the higher the muscle force is used, because the increase the circumference or the diameter of the gripping surface, then you alter the stability between your hand and whatever surface or implement that you're gripping. So there are equipment out there that you can put on your handles. You know, they just slide on. I don't have any right now, but there's many different grips out there that you can use. And if you want to make your own without going to buy specialized equipment, what you can do is simply put your towel, take a hand towel, wrap it around the handle of whatever your equipment that you're using. Make sure that it's even and it's secure, it's not loose, it's not going to fall off. And then put your arm around it, and you can use that to train as well. So if you're doing, you know, your single arm row, lift, whatever those muscle groups are you're training, you can increase your grip while doing those exercises. So you can also put it on a barbell or a kettlebell handle. Just need a little bit of bigger towel. And then you can do your rows, your pull-ups, different things like that that change the grip. The pinch grip, which is the force transfer between the fingers and the thumb. So a variety of different ways that you can train this. So we're going to start off with weight plates. So your pinch grip is your thumb and your fingers here. First option is to hold on to one plate with both hands. Okay, you can hold for a specific amount of time, then place it, recover, hold for another specific amount of time, you know, starting with 10 seconds, whatever is comfortable for you. And then you can take it to single arm, and you can also pass it from one hand to the other while you're resting, or again, place it back down, take a break. Another option is increasing the pinch. So having two different plates there, okay, changes it. You can also do a heavier plate, and you can do one hand, two hands, or side to side. So you can also do a finger pinch. So finger pinch is you just choose which fingers you're going to pinch on, maybe not all of them at the same time. Another great way is to use a dumbbell. And again, you're still doing the pinch grip because it's only in your fingers and your thumb. And you can alternate which fingers you squeeze with depending upon what you're training for. So a more advanced version of the plate pinching is a plate flip. Now you have to be careful with this one because it does involve coordination. So basically you're just going to take one plate, do not try this with two plates, and you're going to flip. And you're going to flip it so you grab the other end. So you really want to make sure you're careful, because if you don't catch it properly, or you flip or you throw, it's going to hit you in the head, it's going to land on your feet, and it's going to have an injury. So you want to be safe with this one. So only if you have the coordination and the skill and the ability to do the plate flip. So basically you're just going to flip and grab. Flip, grab in between your fingers, like pinching grip there. And then once you get a little bit better, you can take it to single arm. So make sure that you're training both hands, not just one hand. Support grip. So a couple different ways to train this. Right now we're going to look at carries. So we're going to look at the farmer's walk using kettlebells, dumbbells, and plates as well. So basically When you're doing the farmer's walk, or just even the heavy hold here, you want your shoulders down and back, you want your core engaged, and you want a nice neutral spine. So you can do these exercises with two hands, bilateral, or single, unilateral. And basically, the cylindrical grip is just simply gripping around a heavy object or weight and simply moving. So when you do move in your farmer's carry, you want to make sure that you're staying fairly even. You're not dropping side to side, swinging. You're not uneven. You want to stay as even as you can and make the core work as well as the wrist. So this is your cylindrical grip or your heavy hold. You can hold as well as do a farmer's carry. Changing the grip to a hook or just an underhand. So you're going to take your fingers and between your first and second knuckles, you're going to hold that way. And it's going to work different muscles in the hands and different variety on the forearms, different work in a different way. So there's your hook grip. You've also got a fat grip or a spherical grip where you can hold on to the kettlebell. You're just going to flip it upside down, grab on. Obviously, the type of kettlebell you use or the size will depend on how big your hand is and how strong your fingers, wrist, and forearm muscles are. Excuse me. And you're just going to hold and simply walk. Okay, you can also do this with the dumbbell, holding on here. Same thing, 2 arms, 1 arm. That's what that hold looks like, gripping. And then also a bottoms up. So this is where you're going to take your kettlebell, place it up, keeping the wrist straight without a break. And you're simply going to either keep your elbow in or straight up. Again, keeping the core and everything nice and straight. And simply walking here and avoiding twisting or breaking. So that is another option as well. You can also do the plate pinch with the farmer's carry as well, the farmer's walk. Another way to train the support grip is by the body hang. So you want to find a bar that's safe and secure, and you're going to reach your hands up so that you're shoulder width apart. Okay? Reaching over, grabbing onto the bar, and then removing your feet from the ground. You can keep your body straight if you have a high bar, but you might have to bend your knees if your bar is a little bit shorter. So avoid trunk flexion. Keep your body nice and straight, shoulders down and back so that your body's nice and strong. And we want to try and avoid rotating or shifting back and forth as much as we can so that it's just a nice static hang for the prescribed amount of time. Okay, so next what we're going to do is some wrist and forearm strengthening exercises. So starting out with wrist flexion. So your palm's going to face up and you want to grab a dumbbell that's really light, like lighter, as we're working smaller muscle groups. So anywhere starting from 2 to 8 pounds starting is great. And then you can go up and figure out how much you can lift from there. Using a table or a surface, you're going to place your forearm on it with your palm facing off. You're going to rest your wrist as well and let your hand completely fall off. Then you're going to put the item into your hand and you're going to grip it. And you're simply, again, shoulders down and back, nice posture. Okay, we don't want to just kind of come into it. We still want to have that, but we're going to be focusing on the wrist movement here. So palms facing up, and then basically just going to raise your palm so that your hand moves towards your head, okay? And then bring it back down. So basically you don't want your wrist to rotate, okay? So like rotating to the side or to this side. And you don't want your arm to just fall uncontrollably, okay? You want it to be a controlled movement. So down, and then we'll bring it back up, keeping it from rotating as much as you can, up, and then down. So then we're working the muscles on the inside of the forearm here. All right, taking it over to wrist extension. So using the dumbbell, you can also use a band too that you can step on that has a handle that you can do these next, the wrist flexion and the wrist extension that we're going to do with the band as well. So with your hand, again, this time your palm is facing down, back of your hand's facing up towards the ceiling, resting that hand and the wrist on the box or the table, whatever you have. Again, bending at the forearm or the elbow rather, and grasping the object that you have, and you're just gonna lift up and lift down. So you want to kind of slow it down a little bit, count anywhere up to 5 if you want, but nice, slow, controlled movement. Again, no wrist rotation, it's just simply up and simply down. And we're just working smaller muscle groups. So you're not gonna have a 100-pound dumbbell by any means right here. All right, and the last one that we're going to do is gonna be a forearm roll with supination and pronation. So supination and then pronation. So we're gonna be turning the wrist up and rotating the wrist down. So you can hold closer to the end of the dumbbell if you want a little bit more of a challenge, or you can start in the middle. And basically, again, we're going to start this time with our palm facing off or up and our hand onto the table. And basically we're just going to rotate from one side. This time we're going this way. We're going to rotate so that it faces down. And rotate so it faces up and faces down. So now let's do some stretches. So basically we're going to start with wrist flexor stretching on the inside here if you remember. So taking your hand and bending at the wrist, pointing the fingertips up. So this is on one level, and you may get enough stretch from here. If you need to add a little bit of overpressure from your other fingers, you can push slightly back. You just want to feel a stretch though, no pain. And you can hold 15 to 30 seconds and even up to a minute. And you want to make sure that you do both sides. And another option, or a little bit more advanced option, is to put your hands onto a table, or you can do this on the floor as well. Point your fingertips towards you, so make sure you have the range of motion to do this. Place both hands on the table. You want to lift your chest, drop your shoulder blades, and keep your head tall. And then you're slowly just going to lean back to feel the stretch in the front of the forearms. And then hold for the prescribed time as well. And then for the wrist extensors, which were on the outside of the forearm here, we're going to do a similar stretch, only this time you're going to bend your wrist and you're going to point your fingers down. So elbows stay straight. And again, if you need a little bit of overpressure from the other hand, you can do that as well. And this just helps to stretch the forearm muscles that we've worked and a little bit of the hand. So in summary today, we basically got a grip. We learned that grip strength is important for many different activities, and we learned the three types of grip strength: crush, pinch, and support. We also learned a variety of different ways that you can train each of these grips, and they're easy to incorporate into your already going program that you're doing. So thank you very much for watching and hanging in there to the end, and make sure that you subscribe to our channel.